It can really consume too much of your time.
And it's so engulfing, like you become so immersed in it and you don't realize how much time has passed until it's like 4 hours later, you've done 0 things.
It was just an escape from anything that was going on in real life. I would just enter a new world and that was it. I wasn't me anymore.
It's just hard to stay focused on the goal, the task at hand kind of thing.
You're missing out on life in general. The internet can't be your life. What is internet addiction? Well, that's, I think, the big question, and I don't know if it has a pretty straightforward answer. There's a lot of conflicting research, it's new. There's internet, and on the internet you can game, you can social media, you can buy things, you can look at sports, you can watch YouTube, and so gaming is one part of that. And that seems to be where a lot of the research is going, is around internet gaming, and that's the area they identified in the DSM-5 was internet gaming disorder. But there's also some other things, like in my practice, it's not uncommon for me to see someone come in who happens to be playing a lot of video games, but that's not all they're doing. They're on YouTube 4 hours a night, in addition to their gaming.
For a really long time, I struggled with World of Warcraft. It was just an escape from anything that was going on in real life. I would just enter a new world and that was it. I wasn't me anymore. And it's scary looking like at months you've lost.
In terms of regular addiction, what you're looking for there is you're looking for a tolerance, a preoccupation, some instances of withdrawal if they separate from use. And then the biggest one is an impairment in daily functioning. So if you're cutting class to game or to be on the internet, if you're skipping shifts at work, if your friendships are being damaged, if you're spending a ton of money, if you're committing crime for whatever reason too. On the flip side, the protective factors would be if you've got a good relationship with your family, if you feel like you belong in your community, if you feel like you have purpose and meaning in life, if you are engaged in sports and have a good healthy peer group, and these are the things that will allow you to consume technology, use video games in a way that probably isn't going to create a lot of challenge in your life. And I think that's an important distinction between problem use and non-problem use.
It made my grades suffer in high school. It kind of split me up from my parents a little bit. We have a very good relationship now, but looking back, it was not good. To me, that's a really big negative effect.
We know there's people that are using and consuming social media and technology in a way that's creating difficulties in their life. Is it its own thing? Is it an addiction? Is it a symptom of someone being really anxious?
I'm constantly checking other people's feeds, and I'm constantly comparing myself to other people. And I think that has a huge toll on self-image.
If someone's experiencing a low sense of self-esteem, they're going through some traumatic events in their life, they're over stressed or worried, or life is just too difficult and they're looking for an escape, the video games will certainly provide you with that. But so will tuning out to Netflix or YouTube for a couple of hours and escaping what you're kind of experiencing in reality. And maybe some more traditional addiction treatment models had an abstinence approach. So someone has a hard time with cocaine, you can say, okay, if you want to kick this, you got to stop cocaine. With screen time, it's different. Realistically, for young people today growing up, can you really look at them and say, sorry, you can't go online anymore? I mean, how much school is conducted online? How much research, how much work in the workforce is conducted online? It's not really like a viable model. It's kind of a form of escapism for me. I liked, when I get home, I like to go on the internet and browse Facebook, Twitter, play some
video games, stuff like that, just to find an escape.
Taking someone's substance of choice or behavior of choice completely away from them, when, like I said, that's maybe how they learn to cope or manage with their feelings, or where they go to feel like they're a person of worth or value. You know, when this thing really represents a lot of those aspects of a person's life, to go in there and take that away, you're really putting someone in a tough spot. You know, so if you think about a university student context, it's not that gaming might be bad for them all the time, but for this particular person, you know, losing 8 hours of their life into World of Warcraft might not really fit during finals. So during those times, there's something you need to be doing different to manage your life. And so coming up with a plan around, you know, these are the times in my life where I feel like I can really do this. These are the times in my life I feel like I can't.
Well, it kind of goes both ways. People can be addicted to the internet but still do things, but then you always get those people who just, that's their entire life, that's their entirety, right? Is just being on the internet.
I think, you know, just that we're just at the tip of the iceberg here. Probably what we need to do is get out in front of this with more prevention efforts. You know, you see warnings on cigarette packages. You see there's a lot of public campaigns around, you know, underage drinking, and but what realistic campaigns are out there around screen time and gaming?
Before the internet, or when you were younger, you would go and you'd like open the fridge and there's no food, and then you close the fridge and you come back 5 minutes later and like think there'd be something new and exciting in there, but it's still the same old crap. And it's the same sort of thing with the internet.
With Netflix, to have that, are you still watching?
Are you still watching? That's it.
It makes you feel guilty because you've been watching for a long time.
Especially if they change the language to should you still be watching, right? It's not just are you watching, but should you still be watching? Question mark. You know, like one simple change of language would, you know, would have people reflect in an entirely different way.